What is going on, PrizePicks family, and welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm going to bring you guys a Sunday NFL wildcard slate board breakdown video. Like I mentioned in yesterday's video, this is just part two of our NFL board breakdown. So, hope you guys have enjoyed your Saturday of football so far, or college basketball, whatever you've chosen to place your entries in. Hope you guys enjoyed it so far. It should be a fun night game that we're about to watch, this Bucks Washington football team game. So hopefully this video can give you guys some halftime viewing for that game, or maybe some pregame viewing depending on when we get this up. But yeah, let's get right into it. So before we hop into the video, I just want to mention that last video's giveaway winner is Cameron Croft. He left a cool comment on the video I keep saying last week, but yesterday. He left a cool comment on the video yesterday. So Cameron, go ahead and DM me on Twitter at reallyaddy, and I'll go ahead and hook you up with that free 5-pick flex to win $200. We're going to be running the exact same giveaway on this video, free 5-pick flex to win $200. That's a great value for you guys to try out your, try your hand at NFL, try your hand at NBA, college basketball, whatever you may. But with 5 picks, you can spread it out over multiple sports, and there's 2 or 3 opportunities. If you get 3 of the picks right, 4 of the picks right, to still win some money back. And then obviously, if you get all 5 right, you 10x your money, you win $200. So yeah, definitely leave a like, leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed in order to win that giveaway. And I'll pick one winner on our next video, which will be an NBA board breakdown video. So be on the lookout for that. But with that all being said, let's just jump into our board breakdown for this Sunday's NFL wildcard slate, starting with this Ravens versus Titans game. And the guy I want to talk about is Marquise Brown. So this is a great matchup for Marquise Brown. He's going to be matched up primarily versus Adoree Jackson. And this projection for me is just a bit too low. Adoree Jackson, he was pretty good to start the season, but over the last 3 games, he's allowed 3 touchdowns, a 77% catch rate, as well as 3.3 fantasy points per target. Obviously, this is a PPR site, so you do get a little bit more benefit in drafting these wide receivers because you know they're going to get a point per reception. Marquise Brown is plus 130 to score a touchdown this game, and the number's so low that he could easily surpass this without scoring a touchdown. I mean, he just needs 5 catches for 81 yards, and that's 13.1 fantasy points. So the fact that he's even plus 130 to score a touchdown, if he scores a touchdown, he is smashing through this number. So I really like the over here. I'm pretty high on Lamar Jackson in this entire pass game. I'm just not a believer in this Tennessee Titans defense, especially their pass defense. And this Baltimore offense has just been rolling. So I expect some big numbers from quite a few of these guys. Another guy who I'm expecting a big performance from is Mark Andrews right here. His projection is 13.5, and again, similar to Marquise Brown, this is a guy who I think can get this projection, or I think can hit this over without even recording a touchdown. I think 5 for 85, 6 for 75 is well within the realm of possibility for a guy like Mark Andrews. Again, I think the Ravens score a ton of points here. I think touchdown equity is extremely high for him. I actually saw him at plus 140 to score a touchdown. I think his odds are probably better than Marquise Brown's. Personally, I'd put it more as a coin flip to score a touchdown. So I think there's a ton of value here because if he scores a touchdown, he's going to smash through this number as well. The Titans have been just league average in defending the tight end all season. And I don't think we've seen Mark Andrews really be unleashed like he was last season. I anticipate that happen in the playoff a little bit more. So I like the over on Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown from the Baltimore Ravens. And then moving over to the Tennessee Titans, I like the over on Corey Davis. So when I was picking who I like more, I like both these overs, Corey Davis and A.J. Brown. But when I was deciding, it was really between cornerback matchup for me here. A.J. Brown's primarily going to get Jimmy Smith in coverage, who's been borderline shutdown cornerback this season, probably their best cover cornerback. Whereas Corey Davis is going to get Marcus Peters, who just hasn't been as good. The game script of this game has Baltimore jumping out to an early lead. I believe they're 3.5 point favorites as of now. But I anticipate Baltimore jumping out to a fairly early lead, maybe a 14 point lead. And I think we're going to see this Tennessee passing game come to life in the second half. Similar to a situation that I predicted with the Colts. Obviously, it didn't work out entirely like that, but sort of the similar game script, similar idea. And so I'm going to take the over on Corey Davis here. He's been almost as good as A.J. Brown this season. Their numbers aren't that different overall. A.J. Brown's getting a little bit more opportunity, but Corey Davis is really taking a step forward from his down year last year. So I expect him to have a pretty big game here and surpass this 13.5, even if it's just by a little bit. So let's move on to this Bears-Saints game. We have 7 selections up here to choose from. And so I'm only going to pick about a couple, and then we'll do 3 more from the Steelers game. But here I do like a couple overs here, along with 1 under. So the over I like is going to be Michael Thomas at 15 fantasy points. This is similar to that Luka Doncic number I told you guys 2 videos ago, or the Stephon Diggs number I told you last video. Stephon Diggs over 19 just seemed too low. He did surpass that. So now you got Michael Thomas over 15. Yes, we know he's injured. Yes, we know this is his first game back, but he's such a target-dominant wide receiver. This guy's going to get double-digit targets this game, even if he's playing on one leg. So 15 fantasy points, double-digit targets, just seems fairly easy. He can easily surpass this number without a touchdown. And he could just rack up easily 10 catches here. And if he gets 10 catches, then it's a wrap. He's surpassing this number. Even if he gets 7 to 8 catches, he's going to surpass 15 fantasy points. And I think he's fairly healthy. He's been out for a while. This is his first game back. He should be fairly rested. The Bears cornerbacks aren't a really intimidating matchup. The Bears defense is good, but they have a much better run defense than pass defense. And it's the playoffs. I mean, like, Drew Brees is going to go to his best players, and Michael Thomas is going to get his catches. So I like the over 15 on Michael Thomas, just as a number that just seems way too low. And then I want to take an under right here on Jimmy Graham at 8 fantasy points per game. Just seems a bit too high to me because Jimmy Graham is not going to surpass this number without scoring a touchdown. I think that's pretty fair to say. He's not going to get 4 for 45. They don't really use him in between the 20s. They mainly use him as a red zone weapon. So you're essentially just fading a touchdown here. And that's indicative in the snap counts as well. Over the last 3 games, Jimmy Graham has actually only played 56% of the snaps, 46% of the snaps, and 40% of the snaps. And now that's in comparison to Cole Kmet, who I actually like a lot in this matchup. Cole Kmet has played 100% of the snaps, 90% of the snaps, and 89% of the snaps. The Saints do have a pretty good tight end defense, but there's just not enough routes being run by Jimmy Graham for him to reasonably hit this target without scoring a touchdown. So I'm super comfortable just fading a touchdown from Jimmy Graham here in what should be a pretty low-scoring game between 2, fairly good defenses. So I'll fade Jimmy Graham here. I'll take the under on 8, and I'll just think he puts up his 3 catches for 25 yards and misses this by, 2.5 points. So under on Jimmy Graham and over on Michael Thomas for this game. Now let's move on to this Steelers Browns game. This is a game I'm actually really excited for. I'm intrigued by it on a fantasy aspect as well as just like as a game overall. I'm interested to see how the Browns look without Kevin Stefanski, obviously their head coach and play caller. Missing him is going to be huge. I think these play callers, like obviously, Kevin Stefanski is going to play a role in warm-ups and pregame prep, but he's not going to be able to call plays, and adjusting on the fly is what makes play callers so great. So I think missing out on Kevin Stefanski in this game is really going to hurt these Browns players. And with that being said, I'm interested in a couple overs on these Steelers guys. So the first over I like is Deontay Johnson. Pretty crazy stat when I was looking up stuff for this game. Deontay Johnson has 10 games of double-digit targets, as opposed to Chase Claypool or Juju Smith-Schuster, who each only have 4 games apiece of double-digit targets. So I really like the upside here for Deontay Johnson. I really like him hitting the over on 16 here. If he gets double-digit targets in what is a pretty good matchup versus the Cleveland Browns, we'll get into that in a second. But if he does get double-digit targets here, it's hard to not see him coming down with like 7 or 8 catches. And he's such a big play wide receiver that obviously if he scores a touchdown, he's smashing through this number. But he could do this without scoring a touchdown easily. I mean, 100 yards is easily in play for Deontay Johnson. So I think 7 catches for 100 yards for 17 points. I think that's very much in play. And then obviously if he scores a touchdown, it's a wrap. So getting a little bit more into this matchup, the Steelers have allowed the 9th most points in the league to opposing quarterbacks. I know that's quarterbacks, but obviously that's well correlated with wide receivers. And in addition to that, they've allowed the 6th worst in yards per target since week 12 to wide receivers. Just not a secondary you really have to fear. And we know that this Deontay Johnson play is not going to be hindered by a lack of attempts, because we know the Steelers offense is fairly one-dimensional. They throw the ball they're probably going to throw the ball like 75% of the time this game. So there's going to be a lot of targets to go around for Diontae Johnson. I think he breaks a big play or two and pretty easily goes over the 16-point fantasy projection. Moving on, Eric Ibron. That's another over that I really like. This is another over I really like in this game. So the Browns have the third worst tight end defense in the league this year, and Eric Ibron has received 7 or more targets in 4 out of his last 6 games. His fantasy point projection is only 9. So with it only being 9, like if he scores a touchdown, it's a wrap. Big Ben loves using his loves using his tight ends in the red zone. They pretty much have just a couple plays that they always go to in the red zone. It's this little Juju Smith-Schuster slant that they run, and they run this play for Ibron in the corner of the end zone that has had quite a lot of success this season. So I think they're going to try and dial a couple of those up for him. And, it's another projection that I think if he gets 7 targets in this game, that he might not even need a touchdown to break this number. Obviously a PPR side. So if he just picks up 4 catches for 50 yards, which a athletic tight end like Ibron can easily do, then I'm going to like the over here as well. So that'll wrap it up for this video. Just to do a quick recap, the plays I like the Mark Andrews over 13.5, Marquise Brown over 13, Corey Davis over 13.5, Jimmy Graham under 8 points, Michael Thomas over 15 points, and then Diontae Johnson and Eric Ibron over their respective fantasy points numbers of 16 and 9. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you made it to the end of this video, I really do appreciate you. It means a lot that you guys stuck around to see all of this. As always, still running that giveaway, free 5-pick flex to win $200. So just leave a like, leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and you'll be entered into winning that. Again, I'll pick the winner on next week's video. But aside from that, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hope you win a ton of money on PrizePicks, and let's run it up. Peace.